back to the trend. Today's trending topic is going to be K-pop groups that fell off. Groups that I'm like, I wonder what happened to them.
Fall off, like they're not on the top of the charts. They could drop music, they're not at the top of the charts, okay?
So starting off, I'm sure you might have thought this as well, but like, what happened to Momoland? Like, Momoland had...
a tragedy.
Literally, because they were so popular. Like,
I could be wrong and someone correct me, but one of the earliest rumors that I heard, and when I first started listening to K-pop, was that Momoland were like rude. Was that they weren't like respectful to like the older groups. Like it was that. I don't know if that was them because again, I was so early when I started listening. I could have been mixing up groups. Does it have something to do with like how they acted behind the scenes?
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you exactly. I'm going to go over their history.
Okay.
They were formed by MLD Entertainment, blah, 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 boring, based off a reality show, which is 99% of K-pop groups, called Finding Momoland, which was on Mnet, and they had 10 trainees competing.
The next Pussycat Doll. That was my show. That was my...
So, at that point, though, the company didn't have enough money to support their debut, which, like, why even debut a group if you're Roki... BTS. BTS.
Yeah, because they hope they turn into a BTS and they get ROI.
Exactly. ROI. So they didn't have enough money for like physical CD copies, venues, music videos, blah blah blah. They ended up like raising enough money to do like free, or through doing like free appearances to raise awareness, which again is giving BTS. Company added 2 more people in 2017, so that was Daisy and Taya. Then Boom Boom went viral in 2018, which that's, I feel like, the song most people know from them. Had their 5th EP in 2019, which, is that not crazy? 5th EP in 2019, and the single I'm So Hot did not include the two members that they added. Okay, so then their Japanese studio album also didn't have another member, so that was Yeonwoo. And then even with their appearances, the 3 of them were not included. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeonwoo and Taya left the group at that point, okay? And when they were promoting Thumbs Up, Daisy publicly went out and claimed that the show was rigged and that the company asked her to pay 70 million won, which is like $52,000, for her inclusion in the show. MLD basically refuted these claims. They're saying that that's not true. That we didn't ask her.
I'm inclined to believe her because they were poor when they even made the group.
Exactly.
But also, she could be using that as like a scapegoat, as like, this is a believable lie. Because I'm more...
But like, what a random thing to lie about.
A random thing to lie about, but I'm also inclined to believe the other girls did not pay $52,000. Like, come on.
Well...
Why would they ask her? Like, did they only ask her? That's the only thing where I'm like, is this girl for real? Because I doubt the other girls would have each paid $52K.
Well, here's some other things that I found. Like, this is according to Reddit, reliable source. Yeonwoo was removed because to focus on her acting career, even though she didn't want to. And then they said Daisy might have been kicked out for a situation about dating rumors. So I have no idea. Honestly, researching this was so hard because I feel like K-pop is so confidential with that stuff and, like, why things went down.
And especially because it doesn't feel like the artists speak up a lot. Especially if they want to continue in that industry. It seems like they're probably advised to just, like, keep it low, keep a low profile. Whereas, like, Western artists, I feel like, hop on IG Live and they're like, F this company, F this manager, like, yeah.
Yeah, so true. And then, apparently, there was also other issues with their company, which is MLD, and they were holding contracts with other companies, and those companies had issues. And then the overall situation with just, like, unstable members, I think, like, made them less likable to a fan. Like, you never know what's going on. You're, like, missing members half the time.
Yeah.
There's, like, constant drama. Like, of course, it's going to be hard to stay in a group like that.
It seems like it's bigger than the music at that point.
Yeah, and it's just, like, not worth it. Like, in my opinion. They officially disbanded in 2023.
I mean, you know that joke where people say, if you post a relationship online, please post why you broke up, because I want to know? No, you're gonna show me...
I've never heard that.
Really?
No.
Yeah, like, if you put your relationship online, please tell me why you broke up, because now I'm invested. Listen, you show me the formation of a group, show me the deterioration of it, too. I want to know what went down.
Exactly, where do you gatekeep the tea from?
Yeah, exactly.
Reputation. Next group, you definitely know, 50/50.
Rip.
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 Okay,
These icons.
They had their hit song, I'm sure all of you know, Cupid, which was March 2022 it came out.
And that was popular, like...
International
and quick.
The first contract dispute they had was in June 2023, and the group said that their label breached their contract by failing to provide accounting data and medical negligence during promotions.
To who?
Part of the medical negligence was like mental health related, which not surprising for a sleazy company to not care about that. Only 3 members were dropped by the agency because Kina, which was the 4th member, dropped her lawsuit and agreed to rejoin.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that not crazy?
She sold her soul?
No!
Joking.
No! And then the other 3 were terminated. Very quick escalation of issues.
Use and abuse these idols.
They took me for real. Okay, anyways, the company also claimed that there was a conspiracy. This is crazy, by the way.
For a company to say
yes! Like, it's giving insanity, babe. Okay, the company claimed that there was a conspiracy between the 3 members of the group and a K-pop consultant who co-managed them along with the label, and so they sued the consultant, claiming they tried to poach the group away from the company.
Girl,
right?
That is the biggest eye roll of my life. Like,
God forbid they actually have a professional consultant tell them, oh, you're being used and abused.
Yeah, but also okay, so does my manager think me and my coworkers are conspiring against her every time we sit and talk? Like, no. Oh my god, this sounds like Big Baby type of BS. Like, ew.
Okay, and then, so the court sided with the company.
Of course they
August
did.
28th,
of course they did.
And then Kina withdrew her lawsuit. That was October 17th. And the company terminated the member. This is the timeline of things. So the company terminated the other 3 members on October 23rd, so pretty sure after. And then Kina represented them at the BBMAs on October 29th.
And they made it, like, at that point.
Crazy.
BBMAs?
Yeah. And then November 2nd, they said there will be a 2nd generation with Kina and 3 new members, which at that point it's like...
use a new name.
New name, yeah.
But they're gonna ride the fame of...
50/50. Yeah, that one very...
That's just sad. That's just tragic because that's like... You had members that stuck together and were basically fighting for their rights.
Yeah.
And look where that landed them.
Exactly. Like, they were like, oh, let's hire a professional. Like, let's get some professional advice. And the company was like, mm-mm.
And that's tragic because I could see how that would be so discouraging to other people. Because sometimes you think of, like, well, why didn't they speak up? Why didn't they do something more? Like, why didn't they this and that? And then it's like, well, that's what's going to happen. You're going to lose your job.
Jobless behavior.
And how, like, popular their song was. Like, they didn't even care.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Last but not least, I have Loona. Do you know Loona?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Loona debuted through a project in October 2016. Feels like forever ago, which it kind of is. Where each of the 12 members were revealed one after the other by releasing a single over 18 months. And there was 3 subunits. So... I don't know. Subunits, I'm not a big fan of, but... January 7th, 2020, Blockberry announced that the leader of the group would not participate in the next album because of mental health problems, and she did not partake in the comeback. Already, again, we kind of have the same pattern repeating from before, where it's like, once you start plucking away members, and, you know, some of them go missing, it's less appealing as a fan. Like, I really hate to say it. I'm glad that idols get to take time off for their mental health problems, but I can see this going a bit downhill once you start skipping members out on comebacks, and, you know, it's early on as well.
Yeah. Well, it also kind of feels like if you're a fan of the group, the only way you know how to at least support the idol is to kind of boycott the group, which is kind of tragic for the other members and for that member too. But you're like, I need this company to understand that they can't treat their idols poorly. But then sometimes the company is going to retaliate and be like, oh yeah? You're on the
Watch this.
block.
Yeah. Beep, 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 mom, BFF. Sorry. The song.
Yeah, why?
Watch this. Beep, 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 mom, BFF. Okay, anyways, so It is said that pre-debut, they signed a predatory contract with their company, Blackberry Creative, BBC for short.
BBC Radio.
And the split for the revenue was 30-70, but the expenses were 50-50. Sigh.
I know. Yeah, a big sigh. Big sigh. These idols get done so dirty if they're not, like...
That's crazy. Like...
If anyone told me to pay for my... Well, I mean, you pay for... Well, depends sometimes.
Girl, get the thought out. What the... is that? What the hell?
You know, sometimes it feels like you have to do that even for regular work.
Yeah.
No, because, like, you pay for your work clothes. Why? And I have to travel an hour back home. Like, why is this not part of company time? You know what I mean?
Why is this not very...
I'm joking, but I'm just saying it feels like sometimes you invest more than you're getting back in pay.
Very random side story, but this wasn't even where I worked, but I interviewed for a company that had total of time amount spent for the process was like 7 hours. They had me working, they had me stocking store shelves as part of the interview.
Like, how is that legal? And I was gonna say that too. Like, even for interviews, I'm like, okay, I'm basically doing the job. Yeah. And you haven't even told me that I've got a contract.
They're like, please send your creative brief of this product of ours.
No. How about that? But I want the job.
Yeah, it's crazy. I digress though. That, yeah, 70-30 revenue, 50-50 expenses. Actually, no. Members tried to have the contract readjusted. Makes sense, as you should.
60-40 at least.
60-40.
Come on, 70-30 is just like a slap in the face at that point.
Now you're disrespecting me.
It's like a backhand, like, shut up.
So they tried to have the contract readjusted, but the rest of the members stayed with the old terms. And then in December 2021, which love you too.
Love you too. Love you too.
She filed in 2021, Chu filed a lawsuit to enter contract, and then she got a partial injunction to conduct personal activities, which woohoo. And then they had their first world tour in summer of 2022.
Wow.
And then some members sat out of some stages, and 2 of the members had health concerns. Which again, what is this?
It's just tragic.
Like, you can't have the members, like, you as a company, you need to take care of the members properly so you don't have just, like, missing members all the time. Because that's, like, no one wants to be a fan of that. Like, I'm so sorry. So Chu later got expelled from Loona because they stated she had abuse of power.
What?
And then days later, all of the members except Hyunjin and Vivi filed to terminate their contracts as well.
I mean, good for them.
And
that seems like at least it was a little more on their terms.
Yeah.
Than them, like, their company being like, we're done with this group.
Yeah. And then, so, it's funny you say that because also Orbits are boycotted the comeback, as they should, because what the hell.
Yeah.
And then, so basically it was a mix of suspension of contracts and termination of contracts that comes next, and there was a bunch of members signing basically with other companies. So then by June 16, 2023, all 12 members won an injunction or like a court order to suspend the exclusivity of their contract with BBC.
But good for them, because it feels like they, again, stuck together and were like, we deserve to be treated better. And Loona, like, they were no Blackpink, but they were Loona.
They slayed. They had some of the best stage performance, best coordination. Like, for such a big group. Like, I personally am not even a fan of, like, really big groups like that because I find it's really hard for them all to, like, look nice and, like, look in sync and not look a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful coordination. Okay, and some of the most talented members, and Chu, the most wonderful, like, personality that you just, like, want to adore. Like, such an endearing personality. The company fumbled because of what? Greed. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to.
Shocked but not surprised.
Literally shocked but not surprised. Like, that's what it boils down to for 90% of these companies. It's just, they're so greedy. Like, greedy, like money-hungry greed. Let us know what you think. Oh, also, please, I'm not saying that I'm a perfect researcher, so if I misconstrued any details or even like the culture difference between like Korean culture, if I misinterpreted things, like I'm always open to corrections. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe.
And we also have a poll going up on our community page. Out of these girl groups that we talked about, which group do you miss the most? Which group do you think had the most potential?
Potential is crazy.
I already have my pick.
What?
What? 50-50 for me. They were on the come up. Like,
That's
the fact
true.
that wasn't it like Kylie Jenner? Like, I could have sworn that I was starting to see like people that music fans is one thing to get into K-pop, but like random IG models listening to K-pop idols, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know. See you in the next video. Bye.